Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh. And of course, we do that by Shem Mashiach Yahweh Shai. Doing something I don't normally do and go live. I don't have a setup to do that normally, and I don't do that. But I've been having some issues with YouTube lately, and I ain't really tripping on it. I'm just going to go ahead and do this a different way this week. I want to speak on something that we're all dealing with, because we in the time where they're doing a whole lot of pagan holidays, Thanksgiving back to back, right after they do Halloween, right after they do this, right after they do that. So really, I want to do something that I believe may help me too. Most of the time when I teach the Bible, it hope most high willing, it'll edify whoever I'm talking to or whoever's listening, but it edifies me too. Right. So I want to get started here. Let's just start this here. And I want to talk about how we recharge our faith during these times. All you so-called Blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, you're dealing with some situations that a lot of people aren't dealing with anyway, because we are the bottom of the bottom. But on top of that, it's that time of year where if you have a faith in the Most High, you are trying to follow his commandments, you are doing your best, you'll get hit with a lot of roadblocks and a lot of people hating on the fact that you want to keep his high holy days and not keep those pagan holidays. So in those times, let's talk about something we can do and something I do to build and recharge your faith, right? So I want to start here at the classic faith. This is the book of Hebrews chapter 11, verse 1. It says, now, faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. It says faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Now, I kind of want to elaborate on this, but I want to knock this out first. I want to make this clear first. This is the book of John, chapter 20. I think I want verse 29. It says, and Yahushua said unto them, Thomas, because thou hast seen me, thou hast believed. Blessed are they that have not seen and yet have believed. So I kind of want to talk about what has really motivated a lot of the mightiest men in the Bible to keep their faith when the chips were down, when the clock's running low, when you need it the most, when it's life or death, when your back's against the wall. What did the mightiest men of the Most High do to strengthen their faith, right? And let me go here. Anybody who know me know I love the book of Maccabees. I don't think Bible Gateway has it in the KJV, but that's all right, because I just happen to like the way Bible Gateway lays out the letters. So let's go to First Maccabees chapter 4, verse 8. The book of First Maccabees chapter 4, verse 8. It says, but Judas said to his men, don't worry about the size of their army, and don't be frightened when they attack. Remember how our ancestors were saved at the Red Sea, when the king of Egypt was pursuing with his army. Let us now ask the Lord to have mercy on us. Let us pray that he will honor his covenant with our ancestors and crush this army when we attack today. Then all the Gentiles will know that Israel hath a God who rescues and saves them. I'm going to kind of unlock this code that I'm breaking down right now. Matter of fact, I think there's another one in here. Verse victory over Lysias. That's it. Verse 28. Let's start at verse 28. In the following year, Lysias gathered an army of 60,000 well-trained infantry and 5,000 cavalry. All right, 65,000 in total, intending to conquer the Jews. They marched into Idumea and camped at Bethsur. Judas came to meet them with 10,000 men. Now there's 60,000 well-trained infantry and 5,000 cavalry. And Judas Maccabees has 10,000 men. When Judah saw how strong the army was, he prayed, "We will praise you, Savior of Israel. You broke the attack of the giant by the hand of your servant David, and you let Saul's son Jonathan and the young man who carried his weapons defeat the entire Philistine army." Talking about David and Goliath, talking about Jonathan and the armor bearer. Now, in the same way, let your people Israel defeat our army, put them to shame in spite of all their confidence in their infantry and cavalry. Now, it wasn't just that they were outnumbered, 65,000 to 10,000. It's also that they were well armored, right? Since he mentioned it, we might as well go to that. Let's go to 1 Samuel. 1 Samuel 17. And really the whole point of this is that when your back is against the wall, when you're facing adversity, if it's at work, if it's in the streets, if it's at home, if it's wherever it's at, with your finances, wherever it's at, what we need to do first and foremost is we got to remember the mighty works of the Lord. We got to remember the mighty things the Most High has done for our family, the things the Most High has done for our ancestors, the mighty things the Most High has done for us, right? Now, let me get back to the KJV. Not that any translation is better than another, but I just want to, in some cases it is, depending on what you're reading. You know, you really should go into the text, comparative text. In some cases, you may like this translation over another because it makes the point clearer. In other cases, you may not, you know. But I'm very familiar with this KJV, so I want to start in there. All right, look at this. Look at this. This is the book of 1 Samuel, chapter 17, verse 32. Let's start at verse 32. It says, "And David said to Saul, let no man's heart fail because of him. Thy servant will go and fight with this Philistine." He's like, y'all all tripping over Goliath. Don't let none of your hearts fail because of that. I'll go fight him, right? And David's a young boy. They're all like, what are you talking about, bro? And Saul said to David, "Thou art not able to go against this Philistine to fight him, for thou art but a youth, and he is a man of war from his youth," right? Not only are they bigger and stronger, but they are more well prepared. They have more armory, right? All the more reason for your faith to fail, right? If you're thinking in the carnal, right? You know, I was going to say that to niggas who think they big. You think you big, nigga? How'd that work for Goliath, though? You did. Look at this, verse 34. "And David said unto Saul, Thy servant kept his father's sheep, and there came a lion and a bear, and took a lamb out of the flock," right? "I went after him and smote him and delivered it out of its mouth. When he arose against me, I caught him by his beard and smote him and slew him. Thy servant slew both the lion and the bear. And this uncircumcised Philistine shall be as one of them, seeing he hath defied the armies of the living God." Listen to what David is saying in verse 37. David said, "Moreover, the Lord hath delivered me out of the paw of the lion and out of the paw of the bear. He will deliver me out of the hand of this Philistine." And Saul said unto David, "Go, and the Lord be with thee." You see that? It's like, you remember, the Most High brought you out of X, Y, and Z situation. The Most High brought you out of this, that, and the third. The Most High brought you out of, you know, whoop to whoop, wham, wham situation. And you got to remember those things when you're facing the new giant. When you're facing the new giant, you got to remember that lion the Most High delivered you from before. When you're facing this new giant, you got to remember that bear the Most High delivered you out of before. You did? And if all else fails, go back to the scriptures. Go see your ancestors, how he delivered your ancestors out of this. This is how you maintain your faith. This is how, when the chips are down, you still have the faith to step into the ring and face whatever you're dealing with, whatever adversity you're dealing with. You remember what the Most High did for you. Matter of fact, look at this. Look at this. I always thought this was dope. Verse 50. Verse 54, right? "And David took the head of the Philistine, and he brought it into Jerusalem. but he put his armor in his tent. Now, I always think this is dope. David put his armor in his tent. Why is that dope? To me, that's dope because, I mean, and if you read the story later on, Saul ended up calling David to come down and live over there with them, and you know how that goes. But David put Goliath's armor in his tent. He took the armor off of Goliath, dragged it with him, and put it in his tent. And what's he going to do with that armor? He ain't going to do nothing with it. He ain't going to try it on at night. But every time he walks in and out of his tent, he's going to see that armor. And that armor is going to remind him of the mighty things the Most High did for him. You dig what I mean? I always think this is a dope thing that David put Goliath's armor into his tent. What was the intention of that? You know, every time he goes into his tent, he goes out of his tent, he was going to see Goliath's armor, and his faith would be strengthened by that. You know, matter of fact, let's talk about why we've been saying that. This is the book of Psalms. I think I want Psalms. The book of Psalms, chapter 28. Psalms 28, verse 4 and 5. Give them according to their deeds and according to the wickedness of their endeavors. Give them after the work of their hands. Render to them their desert, because they regard not the works of the Lord, nor the operation of his hands. Shall he destroy them and not build them up? Because they don't regard the works of the Lord, right? Regarding the works of the Lord and remembering the works of the Lord is a theme that you'll see throughout the Bible, right? We're supposed to remember those works, teach them to our children of all of our feast days, or to remember the graciousness the Most High has done to us, the salvation he's provided to us, right? Look at this, Psalm 106 and 7. It says, our fathers understood not thy wonders in Egypt. They remembered not the multitude of thy mercies, but provoked him at the sea, even at the Red Sea, right? It says, nevertheless, he saved them for his name's sake, that he might make his mighty power to be known, right? He rebuked the Red Sea also, and it was dried up. He led them through the depths as through the wilderness, and he saved them from the hand of him that hated him and redeemed them from the hand of the enemy. But look at this. Verse 13, they soon forgot his works. They waited not for his counsel. Right? Remembering what the Most High did for you is crucial, is critical in maintaining your faith. You got to remember what he's done for you. Otherwise, you know what? It'll make you weak. It'll make you weak. Right? And like I said, this is just as much for me as it is for anyone else to hear. This is how you recharge your faith. Look at this. Proverbs 25. This is what I always thought this scripture was funny. All right. Proverbs 25:19. It says, confidence in an unfaithful man in the time of trouble is like a broken tooth and a foot out of joint. Confidence, that's actually having a secureness of it's actually like having faith. Confidence is having faith, having assuredness, being sure of something, right? Being rest assured of something, right? You have confidence in a man who has no confidence. You having faith in a man who has no faith in the time of trouble is like a broken tooth or a foot out of joint. Man, you get a piece of corn on the cob and try eating that with a broken tooth. See how that work out for you. Having faith in a man who has no faith himself is like a broken tooth or a foot out of joint, right? Look at this. This is why the Most High said this, man. You can't have no faith in somebody who has no faith, right? Look at this. Deuteronomy 20. This is hard. Deuteronomy 20. Look at this. I'll start at verse 1. When thou goest out to battle against thine enemies, and seest horses and chariots and a people more than thou, be not afraid of them. For the Lord thy God is with thee, which brought thee up out of the land of Egypt. And it shall be, when ye are come nigh into the battle, that the priest shall approach and speak unto the people, and say unto them, Hear, O Israel, ye approach this day unto battle against your enemies. Let not your hearts faint. Fear not. Do not tremble. He's like, don't be afraid. Neither be ye terrified because of them. For the Lord your God is he that goeth with you to fight for you against your enemies to save you. He says, before you go out to war, one of the priests got to come out and say this to all the warriors, right? Verse 5, and the officer shall speak unto the people, saying, What man is there that hath built a new house and hath not dedicated it? Let him go and return to his house, lest he die in battle. And another man dedicated. That's something different, you know? But it says, now check this out. Check this out. Now, if let's say you just built a house, you got a vineyard, right? You just got married. It's saying, hey, go and deal with that because you just have a new situation. You come to war at a later time. You just got your wife. You just got your house. You just put your vineyard together. Deal with that first. You know, this is a law. But look at this in verse 8. It says, and the officer shall speak further unto the people, that they shall say, What man is there that is fearful and faint-hearted? Let him go and return into his house, lest his brethren's heart faint as well as his heart. So that cowardice can get what you call that, contagious. It can be contagious, being a little punk, being a little weak-hearted punk. So they say, hey, if whoever here is a little weak-hearted punk, man, tuck your tail and run home, bro. You dig? If you're scared, go to church. I know it hurts, right? Because that'll carry on. Look at what Christ said. Look at what Christ said. The book of Mark 4, book of Mark chapter 4. Got to be near the end. Oh yeah, verse 40. And it says, and he said unto them, Why are you so fearful? How is it that you have no faith? Now, obviously, he was asleep and the storm was raging, and they were like, bro, he's sleeping. The storm is raging. You know what I'm saying? So he's like, but when he woke up, he it says, verse 39, he arose, he rebuked the wind and said to the sea, Peace, be still. The wind ceased, and there was a great calm. And then he said unto them, Why are you so fearful? How is it that you have no faith? He was saying you should have had some faith during them times. I know it looked crazy. I know it looks crazy, but you are supposed to have some faith. Even when it looks crazy, you're supposed to have some faith. It's these weak-hearted niggas with no faith that ain't got no courage. Look at this. Look at this. This is a crazy story. Story time. Story time. Hold on. And I'm about done because I feel like I just wanted to say this because it's helpful to me. So Most High willing to be helpful to somebody, you know. But look at this. This is the book of 1 Kings, chapter 20, verse 1. Let me show you. This is the heart of a man with no faith. This is the heart of a weak man with no faith, you know, who has yet to tap into his warrior spirit. You feel me? This is book of 1 Kings, chapter 20, verse 1. Now, it's talking about Ben-Hadad. Ben-Hadad, the king of Syria, gathered all his hosts together, and there were 32 kings with him, and horses and chariots, and he went up and besieged Samaria and warred against it, right? So it's going down right now. It's going down right now. The king of Syria is already attacking. He said, and he sent his messengers to Ahab. Ahab was a horrible, wicked king, right? You may know him because his wife was Jezebel, right? He sent messengers to Ahab, king of Israel, into the city and said unto him, thus saith Ben-Hadad, thy silver and thy gold is mine, thy wives also and thy children, even the goodliest are mine. This just walked up to him and was like, I'm taking your cookies. I'm taking your, you know what I'm saying? And the king of Israel answered and said, my lord, O king, according to thy saying, I am thine and all that I have. This is a weak-hearted nigga. Ahab was a weak-ass nigga. He's just like, yeah, okay, I'm taking your silver, your gold is mine. Can you imagine? Man, you can't even go to Ray Ray on the block and say, hey, Ray Ray, that gold watch is mine, your wife is mine, your children are mine. Even wicked ass Ray Ray on the block is going to be like, hold up, that ain't right. Ahab was like, sure, you got it, man, whatever you need, sure, right? Verse 5, and the messengers came again a second time and said, thus speaketh Ben-Hadad, saying, although I have sent unto thee, saying, thou shalt deliver me thy silver and thy gold and thy wives and thy children, yet I will send my servants unto thee tomorrow about this time, and they shall search thine house and the houses of thy servants, and it shall be that whatsoever is pleasant in thine eyes, they shall put it in their hand and taketh away. Right? And listen to Ahab, the king of Israel. He's the king of Israel. He calls all the elders of the land and said, mark, I pray you, see how this man seeketh mischief. For he sent unto me for my wives and my children and for my silver and for my gold, and I denied him not. I told him he could have it. He told me, everything you got is yours. Hey, you want my bed? You want my wife? You want my stash box? What you want? You want everything you want, you can have it. Right? Confidence in a faithless man, right? Look what the elders told him. All the elders and the people said unto him, hearken not unto him, nor consent. He's like, are you crazy? Don't give him nothing. Verse 9, wherefore he said unto the messengers of Ben-Hadad, tell my lord the king, as thou didst send for to thy servant at the first, I will do. But this thing I may not do. And the messengers departed and brought him word again. So now he says first, yeah, you can have everything. And then he comes back, he talks to the elders. The elders tell him, bro, man up, bro. You know what I mean? Like grow a pair, bro. You dig what I'm talking about? And he says, okay, I ain't gonna do it. Tell Ben-Hadad I ain't gonna do it, right? So now Ben-Hadad sends a messengers the third time. And Ben-Hadad sent unto him and said, the gods do so unto me, and more also, if the dust of Samaria shall suffice for handfuls for all the people that follow me. He's like, I'm going to destroy all this. I'm going to destroy everything in y'all cities, man. So Ben-Hadad, he's like, he's one of those. He's one of those guys who he think he hard. You feel what I'm saying? And look at this. This is what having counsel with men with some sort of courage and faith can bring you. We see at the beginning of this story, Ahab is a little punk. Ahab is getting mushed in the face, getting shoved in lockers. They taking Ahab's lunch money. They taking Ahab's tray. They taking his cookies. You dig what I'm talking about? But he talks to the elders and they're like, bro, man up, bro. Now listen to King Ahab. The king of Israel answered and said unto him, tell him, let not him that girdeth on his harness boast himself as he that putteth it off. That's hard, actually. That's actually hard. That might be the hardest thing Ahab ever said. What he's saying is like, let's say you're going to play a game. You're going to play a football game, and you putting your jersey on. That means you're getting ready for the game, and you boasting to everybody, oh, we gonna this, we gonna do this, we gonna do that, we gonna do this, we gonna do that. But Ahab is saying, let him that put on his harness not boast himself as he that putteth it off. So when you take off your jersey, the game is over. You done already fought the fight. You can't talk the same. You can talk different when you've already done that. When you already won that battle, you already won the Super Bowl. You can kind of talk a different way when you're taking off your jersey. But when you're putting it on, man, watch yourself. You don't know what's happening. You dig? Or you don't know what's going to happen. You know what I mean? So that's how being around people who have no faith, it make it weaker for you. Being around people who got a little bit of faith could boost you up, could get you right a little bit. You dig what I'm talking about? And that's really what I'm trying to say here. It's like a man full of faith remembers what the Most High can do. And he'll shed off that fear. Matter of fact, you know what? Because it ain't even about whether you win that battle or not. You know what I mean? You got to know who you serving and why. This is the book of Daniel. Daniel chapter 3. You got to know who you're serving and why. Look at this. Daniel 3. Look at this. I'll start at verse 13. And Nebuchadnezzar, in his rage and fury, commanded to bring Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Then they brought these men before the king. Nebuchadnezzar spoke and said unto them, Is it true, O Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, do not you serve my gods, nor worship the golden image which I have set up? Right? He already heard. Y'all ain't want to worship this, right? Now, if y'all be ready, that at what time you hear the sound of the cornet, flute, harp, sackbut, psaltery, and dulcimer, and all kinds of music, you fall down and worship the image which I have made. Well, but if you worship not, you shall be cast the same hour into the midst of a burning fiery furnace. And who is that God that shall deliver you out of my hands? Nebuchadnezzar's talking reckless right now, right? Verse 16, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, and this is really, they changed their names. This is really Azariah, Hananiah, and Mishael, right? Azariah, Hananiah, and Mishael answered and said to the king, O Nebuchadnezzar, we are not careful to answer thee in this matter. They're like, we're not going to tippy-toe around this. We're not walking on eggshells. We're not going to tiptoe and beat around the bush when we're talking to you, bro. They said, if it be so, our God whom we serve is able to deliver us from the fiery furnace. And he will deliver us out of thine hand, O king. But if not, be it known unto thee, O king, that we will not serve thy gods, neither worship the golden image which thou hast set up. Look at verse 19. Then Nebuchadnezzar was full of fury. they said, listen, bro, our God is able. We're not going to be careful to answer you in this. Our God is able to save us out of this situation. But even if he doesn't save us, bro, we're not going to worship your gods. Now that's hard. That's hardcore. You dig? They know the God they serve. You got to meditate on what the Most High has done for you. You got to recall that to mind, what the Most High has done for you before. To where even if he don't do it this time, you still ain't going to fold. I'm still not going to fold. And I'll be real with you. Look at this. Sometimes you think, oh man, when they're facing this fiery furnace and it's hard to deal with. It's a rough thing to deal with, right? Let's go to Luke. It's a rough thing to deal with, right? But in this day and age, it could be something different. It could be something going on with your kids. It could be something going on with your bills. It could be something. It could be violence in the street. It could be you having to be brave where you live. I live in the Bronx, so you never know what's going down. You feel what I'm saying? Look at this. Luke chapter 17. Look at this. I'll start at verse 5. Luke 17 and 5. And the apostles said unto the Lord, increase our faith. The apostles are asking Yahushua, they're walking with him, they're asking him, hey, increase our faith. They're saying we need more faith. We need more faith, man, and increase our faith for us. And the Lord said, if you had faith as a grain of a mustard seed, you might say unto this sycamore tree, be thou plucked up by the root and be thou planted by the sea, and it should obey you. Now, mustard seed is very small, bro. A mustard seed smaller than a sunflower seed, bro. You got a sunflower seed. It might be like 5 to 10 mustard seeds that make up one sunflower seed. You dig what I'm saying? The apostles are asking Yahushua to increase their faith, increase our faith. And he's telling them, bro, if you had the faith of a grain of a mustard seed, you could say unto this sycamore tree, pluck yourself up by the roots and go be planted over there by the sea, and it'll obey you. So you're thinking, oh man, I need more faith. I need to have a whole lot more faith. I need to increase my faith. But Yahushua said, if you had the faith of a mustard seed, you could do these amazing things. How is that? How is that? One more. I'm gonna get up out of here. This is the book of Romans, chapter 10. This is the book of Romans, chapter 10. I'll just read this. Romans chapter 10, verse 17. It says, so then faith cometh by hearing, and hearing by the word of God. The Most High sent Yahushua to us. He said, if you had the faith of a mustard seed, you could do amazing things. You could move mountains. You could tell a tree to pick up and move and replant itself somewhere else. Is the answer increasing your faith, or is the answer to rely on your faith that you got? How do you keep that faith recharged? You got to remember what the Most High has done for you in your previous times in life. Remember what the Most High has done for your moms. Remember what the Most High did for your homie. Remember what the Most High did for David and for Moses and for Jeremiah and for Isaiah and for Zechariah and for the Maccabees. And remember what the Most High did for you, bro, sis. And this is the secret of keeping that faith recharged. All these mighty men seem to follow this same track. And Most High willing, we could use that some way, somehow, to help keep us on the same track. So with that, I'm going to give all honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem HaMashiach Yahushai, and Shalom.